Vilvaji? Vilvaji?
Yes. Save Kumar. Start pandala 8:30.
Can we start? You can.
Yeah, I spoke with Raviji also. Raviji will be joining later.
Okay.
Going for Satsanga Jalak program. Okay.
Right, Ji, you can start.
Okay. So namaste all. So this is the program for this month. Last program for this month. We couldn't able to conduct last week, and we thought of having it this week. And I request our Varadarajanji, who have joined first time for our meeting. I request to give one Tamil slogam with meaning. Yeah. Varadarajanji.
ஆரம்பிக்கலாமா?
ஆரம்பிக்கலாம்.
Yeah. உலகெல்லாம் உணர்ந்து ஓதற்கு அறியவன் நில உலாவிய நீர்மலி வேணியன் அழகு இல் சோதியன் அம்பலத்து ஆடுவான் மலர் சிலம்பு அடி வாழ்த்தி வணங்குவான். நன்றி.
Okay, so every time when we start the program, we will start with Tirukural and followed by we have one Doha, equivalent Doha. So may I request Murali ji and Subham ji for the Doha.
First Subham ji will talk about the Doha.
Yeah. Subham ji.
Thanks, Vilvaji. Thanks. Namaste to everyone. So as Vilvaji was saying that we always have a Doha from Kabir. And we have a plural as well. So today we came up with another miti chinta miti manwa beparwah jisko kuch nahi chahiye wo shahenshah. So its verbal meaning is, if your wishes ends, then your anxiety and trouble will also end, and your mind will be fearless. So one who doesn't need anything, he is the real king. So that's the crux of this Doha. So now I'll request Murali ji to to give us a related Quran.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a very interesting Quran matching with this. It says, "Ava illarku illagum tunbam agdundel tava adu mel varum." Ava illarku illagum tunbam agdundel tava adu mel varum. There is no sorrow to those who are without any desire, but where these are, sorrow will incessantly come more and more. So whenever whenever there is no desire, that means there is no sorrow. Now there is one more Quran almost equivalent to that. Avavinai atra அருப்பின் தவாவினை தான் வேண்டுமாற்றான் வரும். If actions of desire are completely cut off, then immortal life will occur. So this immortal life is equivalent to what Kabir says as Shahanshah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Murali. And every time as usual, I see that every time it's meaning to Doha, you are giving multiple Tirukural. So it was good to hear that. And Subhamji also, though we don't understand the meaning in Hindi, you explained in English, but the words really beautiful. Sagamatti, Chindamatti, which I pronounce it correct or not. It was really nice. Thank you so much. And now I request Sivakumarji to introduce the speaker.
Padmapriyaji introduce.
Okay.
Padmapriyaji.
Namaste ji. Namaste Vilvaji, namaste Shukmaji, and namaste to all. And it's very happy to see you all again after a brief gap. And I would like to introduce our interesting speaker today. And she is Vishali Krishnan ji on the topic The Last Ice Age and the Seventh Manu. And Vishali Krishnan ji is an astrologer and a Vastu consultant. And she is also an history enthusiast, and she does a lot of research in the part of historical perspective. And we welcome Vishali ji for an interesting talk today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Padma Priya ji. Namaste, everyone. Good evening to all.
Ji, you can switch on your video.
I'll be sharing my screen.
Yeah, please.
It
As you
takes
wish.
some time, so I request everyone to stay patient. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, thank you. So, it has been 4.6 billion years since the Earth was formed. In this period, there have been at least 5 documented ice ages. The last ice age, called as Pleistocene epoch, it started around 2.3 million. Is it clear or not?
No, you can click F5 presentation view. In the bottom, that near to that next one. No, next.
Next,
Uh,
last one.
No,
Last
next.
one.
Okay.
On your right side.
One second.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Now perfect. You can proceed.
So the last ice age, called as Pleistocene epoch, it started around 2.3 million years ago and ended about 11,700 years ago. So during this period, the glaciers covered most part of our Earth. It has been discovered by the scientific world that during the last ice age, the Homo sapiens evolved, and by the end of the epoch, the humans could have been found in nearly all parts of our Earth. The current position of all continents came up by the end of this Pleistocene epoch. So the last glacial maximum happened around 25,000 BP to 15,000 BP, which means the glacial ice started melting down. The melting have happened at 25,000 BP. BP means before present, which is around 23,000 BC, we can and the maximum it has reached around 30,000 BC. The end of the ice age, we call it as around 13,500 BP. That is, by 11,500 BC, we could find the present continent. This is the last glacial maximum vegetation map, which ended around, as I said, 25,000 BP to 15,000 BP. At the time, the sun started shining brightly during the last glacier. When the melting started, the sun was started shining very brightly, radiating more heat. So the glaciers have started melting, and the land become visible and giving rise to new life. So new life started thriving after the 13,000 BC. And even before that, we can find life like a human started coming up after 25,000 BC. So around 12,900 years ago, there occurred a mini ice age called the Younger Dryas period, which lasted for another 1,000 years in other parts of the world, but extended for about 500 years in the region of South Asia, especially in India. So this period, we call it as the start of Holocene epoch. That is 11,500 before the present period. The reason for this mini ice age could be a volcanic eruption is one theory. Some scientists believe that this could be because of a meteorite fall, which led to the mini ice age. But recently, the scientists have proposed a new theory called supernova hypothesis. There is possibility for a supernova which occurred at a close proximity to the solar system, which could have altered the Earth's climate, leading to this ice age. Now, let us try to decode the event from our Puranas and Itihas. We believe that Itihas are record of the events that happened in the past, and the Puranas are stories coded with scientific facts. These stories are created so by our rishis so that these truths will be passed on to generations. Earlier, we had this Gurukula system of education where these rishis imparted the truth to their disciples. But today, when the colonial education system was introduced, we not only lost this knowledge, but started calling these stories as myth and these stories became a laughing stock. So I have taken an attempt to decode one such story, which is very familiar to all, to explain what has happened at the end of the glacial maximum period. This story is found in Vishnu Purana, Vamana Purana, Bhavishya Purana, and Mahabharata and other Puranas. At the start of the 7th Manvantara, the sun was called as Vivaswan and Martanda. He is addressed by two names, namely Vivaswan and Martanda. Vivaswan meaning the one who is shining very brightly, and Martanda meaning the one who is almost like a dead inside an egg. Vivaswan, we know the story. Vivaswan was married to Sumagnya, the daughter of Vishwakarma, and she gave birth to 3 children. The eldest was Vaivasvata Manu. Because he was born to Vivaswan, it's called as Vaivasvata Manu. And the other 2 are fraternal twins called as Yama and Yami. Day by day, the sun is becoming more lustrous and shining very brightly with excessive radiation. Because of this, his wife, who could not bear the heat, she left him. Before leaving, what she did, she gave life to her shadow, Chaya, and asked her to take care of the household things. Sumagnya took the form of a man and went into the pastures of North Kuru. All these details in the Puranas contains very valuable information that happened during those periods, especially in India, that we have to take into consideration. Now, going to the story, thinking Chaya as his wife, son continues his household duties, activities, and he was, at the time, he was called as Martanda. Okay. Over a period, Chaya gave birth to Shani and Tapi. Later, Surya came to know the truth. He went to his father-in-law, Vishwakarma, where Vishwakarma cut his rays, thereby reducing his heat. After the reduction, Sumagnya came back and they started living happily. At the start of the 7th Manvantara, which is the end of the glacial maximum, the sun started radiating more heat. The ice sheet started melting and life started to grow. Here, Sumagnya or Prajna means consciousness. We should not consider literally, or we should not take it literally as a woman got married to sun. So because of the solar activities that are going on, sun gave rise to Manu. What is the meaning of Manu? In general, we say Manu means the progenitor of mankind. But Manu actually means a new haplogroup or a new DNA species, which we call today as Homo sapiens. DNA evidences prove that there is a split in the chromosome which gave rise to the present Homo sapien or the humans of today from its earlier version of Homo habilis, Homo rudolphus, and other versions, which happened around the end of the last glacial maximum. Now the question arises, okay, the seventh Manu is today what we are. If so, then how were the previous Manus? For this, the story of Samudra Manthan is giving the answer. In that story, we find Jambavan and Vali took part in the Samudra Manthan. So how do we term them as a normal human being or a Neanderthal? So before the Homo sapiens, the humans were like the Neanderthals, and they have the animal faces and gigantic physical feature with a very long life. Their lifespan was very long. That is why our Puranas refer Jambavan and Vali lived for many eons. From Mahabharata, we come to know that Jambavan's daughter, Jambavati, was born as a normal human being and she was married to Lord Krishna. This again proves that there is evolution of human species from a half animal to the present human form. There was also a tribe in India in earlier period called Kim Purusha. What type of human they are? Again, it is a proof that early humans had a very different form from what we have today. So the evolution of man happened during the start of the seventh Manvantara. Where did this evolution start at first? If we look at the map, it is clear that the southern region of India is mostly unaffected by the ice age. And it is where we can find the tropical grassland. And also there was landmass below India. So in this region was called Dakshinapati in those days. So by logic, we can apply logic, and this new species of man evolved from the southern part of India. Again, our Purana confirms that Manu came from the Dakshinapati and he was ruling South India. The seventh Manu came from the Dakshinapati and he was ruling South India when the deluge happened. The story says that Sumagnya gave birth to Yama and Yami. Yama is the, first we'll go to Yami. Yami is the river Yamuna. When the Himalayan ice started melting, a new perennial river started to flow. This is confirmed through the story, and even geologists accept that the river Yamuna started to flow around 13,000 BC. So coming to Yama, Yama means death. When the sea level rises because of the heat of and the glaciers started melting, what happened? A deluge happened. It was flooding all the places and killing most of the early species. Manu built a boat with his with his new species. He took them along with him, and he started his journey from the south and landed in the north. As per our Purana, he landed in the region of Himachal Pradesh. This story is copied as a Noah's boat in other Abrahamic religions. Now, because of the flood that came to the end of all the earlier species, which is represented by the term son gave birth to Yama. Now coming to Marthanda. When the sun's heat became unbearable, meaning lot of fusion reactions are taking place in the sun, there happened a supernova, that is the bursting of sun because of excessive gas throwing all the debris in the form of meteorite in the space. During one such supernova of the sun, the formation of the planet Saturn happened. Again, our Purana confirms this too. So, there were many supernovas happened in the sun, and in the earlier time, during one such supernova, the planet Saturn was formed, which was thrown out of the sun. The scientists have confirmed the Saturn is a gaseous planet which it is made up of helium and hydrogen, the same constitution as that of Sun. So as this, when this supernova happened, the Sun was seen surrounded by the debris. Because of this, what happened? The Earth could not receive the heat from the Sun, which led to the mini ice age called the Younger Dry period. This sun is referred as Martanda in our Purana, which means that the sun is seen alive. The sun is like almost like a dead thing present inside a womb. Here, when the sun is surrounded by the debris, when the explosion happened, it lost most of its energy, and when the debris is surrounding the sun, it looked like as if it is present inside in the middle of the debris, where from outside we couldn't see the sun. So this stage of sun is beautifully represented by the word Martanda. There is also another Puranic story where Aditi was getting a curse from Chandra when she conceived Martanda in his womb that he should die. And finally, Kashyapa, because of his tapo bal, he saved the child. So this is again represent how this supernova effect happened, and when it is surrounded by the debris, and because of that, the drastic climatic change or abrupt climatic change happened, which led to the mini ice age. The story also conveys the message that Saturn was discovered by our ancient sages around 12,000 BC, which means our sages had the knowledge of Saturn and its orbit and its the time taken by Saturn to go around the galaxy. During this supernova, because of the radiation, sudden abrupt of radiation or the heat, it gave rise to a new river called Tapti, which is confirmed through the story that Chaya gave birth to Shani and Tapti. Now the sun is like dead, not giving enough heat, and slowly when the debris got clear, the sun started getting its present form. This is explained as if in the story, like Vishwakarma cut the orbs of the sun, thereby reducing its heat and bring it to the present form. Even today, the scientific world could not conclude the supernova took place in the sun because it is very difficult to study what has happened in the sun in the past. But our Puranas clearly explains the galactic activities and how it affected the climatic changes, whatever changes are happening in our Earth. It also reveals the formation of the planet Saturn. Hence, the Saturn is called son of Surya. And according to science, life started thriving at the beginning of the Holocene period, occupying most of the land. How it happened and how civilization started, and all this we will see in my next presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vishali ji. As usual, this topic is quite unique for us. And normally, like there is a subtle difference between the myth and the history. The history, the myth which has the self-explanatory terms will be considered as a history. So some of them may look like myth, or some of them may look like history, but we don't know what it is. So definitely it has created interest within the within the people in the meeting. So we'll have a detailed discussion later on the same topic after the second topic. Now I request Padma Priyaji to introduce the second speaker.
Thank you, Vishali Krishnan ji. And this was a very interesting topic for us to further read on this, because probably for the first time I'm hearing the connection between what is told in our Vishnu Puran, Vamana Puran, Bhavishya Puran, and Mahabharata about the sun god. I did not actually connect it with Ice Age, because I have, on other contexts, I have actually seen some of the sculptures of Surya, but I didn't know how to connect it. And thank you for giving me a clue to connect the Ice Age and Surya. And now we welcome another speaker of today, and she is Nirmaya Narayanan ji. And Namaste ji, very happy to have you here today. And Nirmaya ji is a data scientist at Red Hat. She is well-trained in classical music and bhajan sampradaya. She is a qualified Sanskrit teacher as well. And thank you so much for coming here, Ji. Namaste, and we are just happy to invite you for a speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Padma Priyaji. Namaste, everyone. Let me share my screen. Is everyone able to view my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Miraculous Indian attire. What is an attire? An attire, generally, we use that term to define whatever clothing we wear, whatever hairdressing we wear, what ornaments we wear, what other accessories we use, like flowers, scents. These are all important parts of attire globally in different cultures. Today, I am going to put some weight on the clothing aspect of the Indian attire. So, as of today, if you go to Google and if you type Indian attire, you will see something like this. It'll be a bunch of lehengas and skirts, and you can see sherwanis for men. But is this what the Indian attire is? I would beg to differ. This is what not I would call the Indian attire. And this is not what we are going to be talking about today. We are going to be talking about something like this. What you can see on the screen right now on the left side is a beautiful painting by the great artist M.V. Dhurandarji. This painting was done sometime in the 1900s, and this particular painting depicts the various different drapes of sari all over India. We can see a Nawari there, we can see a Madisar, we can see very different types of drapes that were used all over the Indian subcontinent, which has been probably followed by the people for a good period pre-colonially in India. And on the right side, you can see the very different types of dhoti drapes that were being used by men. So this is what we'll be talking about today. We all know this is very special to us, and we all know this is some way or the other the best attire. I'm not going to be stressing on this is best, but I will try my level best to say why this is what is most suitable, especially for us. So let me just start with a few fashion issues that have been going on in today's fashion world. There is this buzzword that we can hear in the day-to-day fashion industry. It is called as size inclusive. What is size inclusive? Today, all the fashion brands want to be size inclusive. They want to They want to cater to people of all sizes. They want to cater to plus sized bodied people. They want to cater to people who are tall. They want to cater to people who are very slim. This is a buzzword, and every brand wants to be size inclusive today to develop their business. People, and there is something called shape, and body type adherence. So earlier this month, I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw this video called "How to Dress for Your Body Type." I've never heard of the term body type. I've never thought like this is how I should dress for myself for my body type to look beautiful. And apparently, I came to know that there are a lot of body types. There are rectangular bodies, there are triangular bodies, there are apple pear-shaped bodies, and there are hourglass-shaped bodies, and many more. And there are different attire types that suit every different body type. A customized fit. A customized fit is what we all want nowadays, be it a jean top, be it a salwar kameez. We all want it tailored to our size, and that is how we desire it. But unfortunately, that kind of tailored dresses become undesirable or non-usable in some time. So the answer to all of this is a sari. Why is the answer a sari? It's a very size inclusive piece of garment. It's just 6 to 9 yards of one single piece, which is being draped in different styles. And there's no difference. Like a sari will not fit a fat person. A sari will not fit a tall person. There's no difference like that. A lot of youngsters today, maybe including me, we all have a pile of dresses. Either it is, I used to fit so good into this dress, now I don't fit into it anymore. That is one category. The other category is, this dress looks so good, I want to keep it, and I want to fit into this dress after some time, after I lose weight. I would be lying if I said I didn't have a category of dresses like that. I have my own tops, I have my own salwar sets that I have saved in that particular category. But when it comes to a sari, I have never heard anybody saying, I don't fit into the sari anymore. I fit into it when I was 13 years old. Now I don't fit into that sari. Nobody says that. Nobody says, I have put on a lot of weight. I don't fit into this sari anymore. So be it any size, be it any body type, a sari is always the answer to a best piece of garment that you can own. And when it comes to the customized fit, I have always wondered this particular thing. Everybody wears a sari in a unique way, in a different particular way, catering to how they want it, they feel comfortable. It looks different on everybody, but it's the same piece of garment. There is not even a single piece of stitch anywhere in a sari. You don't have to pick up a single needle and do one small stitch also for the sari to fit you perfectly, as if it was tailored to you. It'll fit on you like that. It'll wrap around your body as if it was made for you only. But when it comes to other garments, how easy is it to find another garment like that which will fit you so easily without any effort? And the last thing I wanted to talk about is abundance. We all have used saris or dhotis from our parents, from our grandparents. We share our saris with our sisters and cousins and all of them. It's not like, see, this is her sari, it won't fit me. We don't have this problem. We like a sari, we can share it with anybody. The abundance of that particular garment is something that's always amazing to me. So these are all some fashion issues which is very easily solvable by a sari at an individual level. There is one more point of view that a lot of us have forgotten to see it in that way. And I would want to give some stress on that as well. So it is from a societal point of view. Sustainable, eco-friendly, these are all words that we have been listening to nowadays a lot. The West has been trying to make it a new thing wherein the entire South Asian culture in itself is very sustainable, is very less wasteful, and it's very eco-friendly. The sari is such a sustainable option that you will not find any other piece of garment which is as sustainable as that. One, for the time you will be able to use it. I know people who are 60 years old, who are 70 years old, who still use saris that they had got for their marriages when they were in their 20s probably. So when it comes to a sari, the lifespan of that particular garment is stretched to a good 50 to 60 years. One of my friend, even when we were talking, she told me about this thing wherein some saris were passed through generations in families. So that particular garment, its lifespan stretches to so many years that nothing else can be as equal to that lifespan. And then there is something called textile waste. So when I'm talking about textile waste, I remember a small story. I don't know how many of you will be able to relate to something like this. When I was very young, probably 6 years old or 7 years old, I used to accompany my mom when she went to the tailor's place to get her salwar kameez stitched. So whenever we went there, we used to see the floor of the tailor's shop. It used to be filled with small clothes of different colors, different patterns and shapes, and they were all in very weird. The cloth piece that was lying on the ground was in a weird shape. So it was very attractive to me as a small kid. I used to look around into all of those cloth pieces, and the tailor uncle, what he'll do is he'll take a small bundle from his table side and he'll give it to me to play. Small pieces that were going to go to the waste, he'll give that to me to play, and I felt very happy because I had something to play with as a 6-year-old. But today, when I look back into it, why is there so much waste, and what is happening to all of that? All of those pieces, when you give a 2 meter of cloth to some tailor and he's tailor making a top for you or a blouse for you, what is happening? The rest of whatever cloth is remaining is going to landfills. That is what is happening in this kind of fashion. We should note that every year all over the world, about 9 million tons of textile waste meaning cloth waste like this, is going to landfills. Of course, cloth is biodegradable, but still we should think about the amount of waste that is going into the ground. And once again, when we look back into a sari, there's nothing to cut, there's nothing to waste, there's nothing to throw away in a sari. You will be using it till it's 100%, because you don't have to destroy a piece of cloth to make it fit you. Utility to its 100%. Utility to its 100% does not only apply to the sari, it applies to every single lifestyle aspect of Indians, Asians in general. There's this term called rags to riches for people who are self-made, who have been in a very poor background to a rich background. I will invert this saying and I will call it riches to rags for a sari, because you think about the life cycle of a sari. A new pattu sari, a new silk sari is coming to your house. You have purchased it for Diwali or maybe a wedding in your family. You're wearing the sari. It's brand new. It's very shiny. It looks absolutely beautiful, and you keep wearing it for a good few number of occasions, and then after every wear, it starts getting a bit dull. And after a good number of uses, it becomes a very dull sari. And in olden days, what they used to do, they used to take saris like this and they used to keep it as saris that they wear at home. Why? Because it's okay if those dull saris get stained when you are cooking or when you are cleaning, or maybe you're taking care of a kid. All of those are very stain prone activities, and it's okay if you stain that kind of sari. So that becomes the second stage of the life cycle of a sari. After that, the sari becomes very soft due to wear and tear after a long period, and this this is something that I used to even see when I was a kid. My mom used to make this makeshift cradle. It's called tuli in Tamil. I don't know what it's called in other languages in Hindi or probably other languages in India. Tuli or turi is what it's called in Tamil. And it's a small cradle for a baby. It's ideal because the sari is very soft and overused, and it's a nice piece of garment in which the baby feels very comfortable. That becomes the third life cycle of a sari. Sometimes even saris after few uses become curtains and screens as temporary partitions in probably a century back. This was how it was used to be. It was recycled as all of these things, and maybe bedspread for babies. Some fancy saris became handbags and portly bags. And as I said previously, some saris even became hand-me-downs. And at the end of the day, after all of these life cycles, it becomes a pocha kapda. It becomes a small piece of cloth which you use for cleaning, and then the sari finally lives its whole life and then goes to waste, where it's so easily biodegradable than the landfill textile waste that we were talking about earlier. So these are some of the advantages of particularly this particular piece of garment, and using this particular piece of garment as our ancestors had been using it. Let's come to another important aspect of the sari. We are coming back to what painting we saw earlier, and I'm showing another picture. The difference in them is very obvious. I do not have to point it out. The one on the right is a contemporary drape, which we all resort to nowadays. We all wear our saris this way only. It might be to an office, it might be to a wedding, or most occasions, apart from very rare 1 or 2 occasions, we wear a sari in this particular drape only. Whereas on the left side, you can see so many different kinds of drapes of the sari. They're very different, each in their own way. So, why did our ancestors have so many different types of draping? Why is it not a one for all? And why do we have this now this way? So, the main difference in what sari was being worn probably 300 years ago and what is being worn now is the way of draping and this other piece of garment called a blouse, a fitted blouse. When I was going through some history lessons, I learned that around 1900s, it was considered uncivilized, or it was considered an indecent way of wearing sari over the bare breast, which was being done for almost more than 2000 years in our history. And during the English colonial rule, we saw that English shirts were first used as blouses, and then it evolved to what we are using as blouses today, which are fitted blouses. Now, when I am talking about pre-colonial drapes, and now I've heard a lot of my friends say, why should I often wear a sari? A sari is making me feel very uncomfortable. I'm not able to walk in a sari. I keep tripping down. I'm not able to do this work in a sari. I'm not able to do that work in a sari. And initially I used to think, why do they say like that? A sari is the most aesthetic and comfortable piece of clothing. But why would people say that? And then it dawned on me that it's the drape that's the problem. Think of a muddy sar or a Nawari sari, which has a dhoti style or a pant style drape. It's very easy to even do a somersault or a backflip in that kind of a drape as compared to what we have today. So the functionality, depending on if they are royals or if they are peasants, the drape was very different based on the area where they live. Now, if you live in a cold area, you need a lot of covering. If you don't live in a cold area, you live in a very hot area, it's not a requirement. Based on all of that also, we had different styles of drapes. And then, as we were talking about the blouse in the colonial period in the 1800s, in the 1900s, there were a lot of differences to how we wear a sari today. So in conclusion, what I would like to say is, as much as we praise this Indian attire, this sari and this dhoti, there's no use in not using it how it is meant to be used. We should try our level maximum to stick to our roots and not lose the different aspects of that sari, the different benefits it is giving us, and that is how we will be able to utilize 100% of what it was meant to be doing. So I have I have a small gallery of the pre-colonial different drapes of sari, which is quite interesting to look. We have a Kerala type sari, we have tribal type sari, and we also have some men's fashion here. We have a family of sari and dhotis. We have only a lower body covering sari, and we have a bunch of dhoti drapes as well. So yeah, in conclusion, these are reasons why I think the Indian attire is miraculous. It is good for individual. It is good for a society as a whole. It's eco-friendly, it's sustainable. So let's get back to our roots and do it as it was meant to be done. Thank you, Vishwaguru Study Circle, for this opportunity. These are some references and resources. If you want, I can share them. And if you have any more questions, you can reach me in my mail, LinkedIn, or my blog. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nirmaya ji. And it's quite interesting topic, I think. The one that you mentioned, that one dress which is suitable for all size and all body type is sari. So I feel dhoti also same. And I think sari is still in trend and in fashion. But there are few things like in recent news, some of the video that has gone viral. I think some of you might have noticed that one woman was denied entry in the restaurant of Delhi because he was wearing sari. So these are the incidents that may change the trend and fashion. Even when we were young, we see quite a lot of people wearing off saris. Nowadays, we don't see them. So it was good to hear all these things. And I think now we are moving to the third topic, not topic. So now it's a time to ask questions, or you can share your thoughts on the two topics. It's not just asking, like it's we all feel whatever you feel on these two topics can share. It's like a discussion. So for both topics, like sari as well as the Ice Age topic, what Vishali ji has spoken about. Anyone?
Namaste, Jay. I'd just like to just have a reference with what Vishali ji was telling. Is wife of Surya also called as Samjana?
No, that is Surya's wife.
Wife.
The husband.
So you said that Svagnya. Svagnya was.
Yeah, Sumagnya or Sumanya. The name
is she also called
different.
Samjana? Is she also called Samjana?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
All that means the consciousness, that's all. So it doesn't mean any, we personify her as a woman, but in reality, it is not so.
Okay, Ji, okay. Thank you, Ji, thank you. So, Nirmaya Ji, it was very interesting, and like it was, I mean, actually, I was thinking about something, because in olden days, I have seen, we never waste any of these cotton stuffs. And I have seen my grandmother using it till the end. And I still, as you said, I still cherish my grandmother's saris today and my mother's saris. So all of it, I have it safely in their remembrance. Thank you so much for reminding us that. Thank you so much. It was very nice. Thank you.
I would like to congratulate Nirmaya for choosing a wonderful topic. And I'm surprised this topic comes from a young person like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And in a way, I'm very happy that youngsters are turning towards sari. So that's very nice. I hope to see many youngsters started wearing, like what Vilbaji said, is half sari. It has become an extinct, like an extinct species. It has become an extinct dress. So this will also revive. I hope so. And, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation.
Okay. So if you don't have any other comments, may I request Muraliji, you want to say something?
Yeah, this is for Nirmaya. Yes, a biotech student, how she has chosen this as a topic. It was something different for an youngster.
Growing up, I've always had my love for half saris and saris. There was one period of time where I owned more number of half saris than the number of salwar kameez I was having, or the jeans and top I was having. So this piece of garment is always something close to my heart. A few days before, I came across the painting of M.V. Durandar that I had shown in the presentation, the different types of drapes, and I was thinking about how especially this particular draping style, the change in the draping style, what impact it has made on us. And I used to listen to my grandmother saying that this is a very healthy draping style as well. It does so many good to your body. There is a knot that is done in the draping near your stomach that is actually protecting your intestine, and there are a lot of even scientific benefits of the sari. So I was not able to cover all of that due to the time constraint. But when I was thinking about that, I recently have also written something about this sari in my blog, and that's how I chose this as my topic.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes, actually, if you start at decoding our manvantras, what are the different manvantras in different, in the earlier manvantra, what we call it as the Chakshushu manvantra. Totally, we have 14 manvantras. So, of the earlier or the sixth manvantra is called the Chakshushu manvantra. In Chakshushu manvantra, there were 12 sun, which we call the 12 Adityas. So Kashyapa and Aditi gave birth to 12 Adityas during the Chakshushu manvantra. And during the 7th manvantra, what happened? These 12 Aditya come together and gave rise to the one Surya, which we call it as Vaivasvata manvantra. Again, this is an interesting thing where we can decode when the earth was, when the sun was born. When was the sun born? Okay, when we go into the concept of Yuga, maybe during some other presentation, I will explain all these things. The Yuga concept itself is to explain what happened in the galaxy. It is not that what we are speaking as the Kali Yuga, 4,32,000. It is not for the human life. It happened, what happened in the galaxy? What are the changes that happened in the galaxy? That is explained in the Yuga concept. That is in the 4,32,000, 42,000 Yuga concept. We have so many Yugas. So of that, it explained the birth of sun as 8.3 billion years ago, which made up to 2 days of Brahma. So when we keep on going on with the Yuga concept, we will come to know that the earlier Manvantara, when the bursting of see all these stellar organs, planets and the stars, everything formed because of the explosion, what we call when the big bang happened and all. We all say that during the sudden explosion, gaseous explosion, these type of stars and planets come into existence. When the sun was formed in the earlier Manvantara, what our Purana says is the sun was in the form of 7 small pieces together, which joined together during the 7th Manvantara and gave birth to the Vivaswan. So if we keep on decoding, we will come to know a lot of activities that happened in the universe in the past, which the scientific world would not think of it. They have not gone deep into that, but our rishis and munis, they have decoded everything and said it in the form of stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, actually, actually, I don't download Zoom, and so I'm using my daughter's laptop. So she has put it as.
Namaskaram.
Namaste, namaste ji. Yeah, even Vishali ji, even I thought of asking the same question. So we don't need a next topic. We don't want to take any more topic. We want one topic. How do we learn so many things? We don't find any topic that where you cannot talk. Every topic, whatever we present, you have enough information. So what is the secret behind your learning? So that you need to take
actually, it's
one lesson.
Yeah, actually, no, it is only the interest that dragged me into all these things. When I I had interest from my childhood on astrology. When I started learning astrology, I came to know astrology, the base of astrology is astronomy, science and mathematics. When I started learning astronomy, I came to know, oh, how different what we have studied in our books and other things, but how different our Vedic books are telling about what happened in our universe and other things. So I naturally got interest in these things. I started doing a lot of research. That is how it all started. But of course, yes, I also, in fact, sometimes I feel 24 hours is not enough for me. If they extend for some more time, then I would be very happy to study more things.
Okay.
Oh, that's all. Congratulations,
Great,
Leela ji.
congratulations.
No, not me. Yeah, it's completely from Sivakumar ji.
No. It's not
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay, so no problem. So now the last.
Now, before that, Nirmaya ji, I just want to add, this is Murali Subramanian, just want to add one more thing. In sarees, we have 6-yard sarees and 9-yard sarees. Many youngsters were preferring, even today, 6-yard sarees. The beauty of 6-yard saree is that, it has, from the scientific reason I'm talking about, is that it has got frills in the front. And why so many frills? Because scientifically it covers and then it protects certain things, so sun rays, etc., and that is why it is much superior to the modern day dresses. Similarly, 9-yard sarees, as you pointed out, there are knots, and then even I was told that for pregnant women this is the most comfortable dress those days. And I see even now today lots and so many people of 80 years old, 90 years old wearing the 9-yard sarees, and then they don't come out of that. So that shows their addiction to such kind of sarees, and that is really, really good. And similarly, you have, someone pointed out that, Ayers wear the different way, Iyengars wear in a different way. So, in spite of the various ways of wearing that, but then it really, from the viewing point of view, it is good. From the scientific point of view, it is good. So more and more people should, should really wear saris outside, inside. I mean, in home, at home. So this is what is really required. And then youngsters like you should really propagate much on this. Good topic.
Thank you.
You have covered
அண்ணா
it.
நீங்க சொன்ன ரீசன் வந்து நான் இப்பதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் கேள்விப்படுறேன்.
Actually,
yeah, but
I would
quite
like to add
interesting
one more
reason, right?
point.
Yeah.
The hernia
Correct.
was not a common thing before 300 years ago. Because when people started wearing with the kacha style sari, this hernia was not this that happened to women in India. Only after the introduction of the Western outfits, hernia became a common problem for ladies. Even for men, the panchakacha style that protect their vital organs very well.
Correct.
The common disease what the men have today was absent in those times.
Correct.
இன்ஃபேக்ட் நாளா 2 பக்கமும் ஹெர்னியா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன், தப்பாலாம் பண்ணி. கரெக்ட்.
Yeah.
See, until recently, the 9 yards, 6 yards, இதுல 9 yards தான் எல்லாருமே வேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா. ஈவன் கிராமத்துல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லா காஸ்ட்லயுமே பாருங்களேன் அந்த மாதிரி கச்சம் கட்டிட்டு தான் இருந்தாங்க, போத் லேடிஸ் அண்ட் ஜென்ட்ஸ்.
The present this 6 yard sari, the type what we drape today, was introduced by the Christian nuns. When they came to and the petticoat, the concept only they brought it. We didn't have the concept of petticoat. And by the way, blouse was already existing in our ancient culture. If I get some time, I will share in the group. There was a Pandyan period statue of a dancing girl wearing a blouse, and it is dated back to 8th century.
I would also like to add something. In the 9 yards, the kacham type draping, it is scientifically proved that it protects the women's uterus from getting affected directly. Because of this kacham, which protects from the gravitational force, the body is getting protected from the gravitational force. So it is very, very useful in avoiding uteral diseases also.
ப்ராப்ளம் என்னன்னா நம்ம எதையுமே ரீசனிங் வந்து இதுதான் அப்படின்னு we didn't write or we didn't tell. That is a problem. Maybe if we have told the reasons, then they would have understand.
No, but at the same time, 9 yard sarees are difficult to wear
because of colonial education system.
Yeah.
So
now let us see how many of us are going to get back to 9 yard sarees.
Muraliji,
putting into trouble.
First talk about male. How many are using daily panchakacham? That has to be a question to be asked.
No, how many of you know how to wear that panchakacham? Or how to, that is also, see, even I இன்னைக்கு போனா கூட I have to teach my brother, younger brother. My elder brother doesn't know at all.
Sir,
Okay, it's all
I am wearing daily,
no.
sir. I am wearing daily.
Oh,
Even
very
with
good.
Panjagacham, I used to
Only
go out.
rare people.
Only
Shivakumarji
I'm
is a
wearing
rare
t-shirt
people,
only
is
in
it?
upper port. It's not that. It is very easy. And it is
Very,
more
very
comfortable.
simple. Nothing.
More
Very
comfortable.
simple, comfortable. Everything is
More
there.
comfortable.
I love it actually.
Okay.
Diverted the subject. Yeah, Vilvaji.
Okay. Vilvaji.
Yeah, we wear. I wear.
Yeah, it's already 5 minutes delay, it
Very
seems.
good.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So now, last session, those who are interested in our next session is going to be held on October 12. Please let me or Shivakumarji know so that we will able to coordinate with you. Those who can present that topic, please let us know. We will coordinate with them. And moving to the last session, I request Shivakumarji for the Santi Mantra.
Oh, it's over.
Early.
Hey, it's over.
Huh?
It's you are.
I thought it is 7 o'clock. Oh my God.
Yeah, it is started
over.
5:45. 5:45. That's the reason. 2 topics we have spoken: Sari
Oh my
and
God.
Ice Age.
I
Yes.
didn't see the time.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Vilvaji.
Okay.
Shanti
What
Mantra.
time is 18 hours? Very sorry.
Yeah.
So, I missed it.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति धन्यवादः सर्वेषां धन्यवादः thank you very much for all
Thank you so much.
but I thought that I confused on timing. 6 o'clock. So normal timing 7 o'clock to 6:40.
Yes. Most of the
that is why personally I sent you a post.
Oh, I didn't see that. Vilvaji only.
No, this is not recorded. Not recorded.
கவிஞர்
அண்ணா இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்றதுண்ணா இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்றது என்னது இருக்கா ரெக்கார்டிங்?
ஓகே.
எனக்கு சுத்தமா மறந்துட்டேன். நான் இன்னைக்கு ஸ்பீச் கேட்கணும்னு தான் வந்தேன்.
Okay.
திருப்பி பேச வைக்க முடியாது. ஓகே.
Okay. Yeah, then thank you so much for all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Now we are done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.